Hello and welcome. In today's video, we're going to talk about 3 different professional drawing tools that are included in your kit. They are the Tortillion, the Ebony Pencil, and the Kneaded Eraser. We will discuss what they are, how they work, and how they're going to help you achieve not only your values, but also textures in your value drawing. To begin, let's talk about the Tortillion. So a tortillion is a drawing tool made up of rolled up paper that's used to help you blend graphite in those small, hard to reach areas. Now we've been using paper to help us blend this whole time, but we've been using paper towel, and although we've tried to wrap it around our finger to have some control, it's really not going to get into all those little details that we might have in our reference photo, in our drawing. So instead you're going to transition over to a tortillion once you lay down some of your bigger tones. Now, like I said, a tortillion is just rolled up paper. I have a damaged one here to show you. Again, it's just that rolled up paper, but it's rolled up super, super, super tight, and it's sort of like pulled out at the end to create this nice sharp point. Now, when you're using a tortillion, you want to use it on the side like this, okay? You never want to stand it up like that. So I'm going to show you, if you use it, you're going to see it's going to move that graphite around quite a bit, which is really nice, but it will get dirty. Do you see how the graphite has like attached itself to the paper? And this is not something that you can erase and change. It's just, it is what it is. So I'm giving you 2 so you can keep one sort of cleaner than the other. Also, it's kind of nice when it gets a little bit of graphite on the end, because then you can sort of paint with it, right? The danger lies in if you have this like 4B pencil on here and then you go to an area that's like a 2, you don't want to put that graphite there. So just be careful and realize what you're doing with which tortillion. Now, again, like I said, you want to use this tortillion on its side. You never, ever, ever, this is the kiss of death, you never want to pull it up like this and use just the very tippy top, because as soon as you do that, it's going to sort of push it back into itself. And that might not be a really big deal, but like, look how short it can get. That whole like spiral area has just been pushed in on itself. And I don't know about you, but I can't get into those little areas with this anymore. Okay, so just be mindful that you're always using it on its side. You don't want to use your tortillion to do really big areas. Again, this is only for those little tiny details, like things in here, in the eye, in the nose, that sort of thing. Things that you can't do with this paper towel here. All right, so that is our tortillion. Next up, we have our Ebony Pencil. Here is your Ebony Pencil. This is by the brand Prismacolor. You might have one that says Design, but they all say Ebony Jet Black Extra Smooth. You can see that it's unsharpened on both ends. You're gonna have to pick an end to sharpen. I recommend this side away from the number. And this pencil is the darkest pencil that you have access to. And you may be thinking, wait a minute, Miss Jordan, I thought that the 6B was our darkest pencil. Well, actually, the Ebony Pencil is. And when I say darkest, I mean it is dark. This is going to be the equivalent of like a 10 or 12B pencil. Here I have one sharpened up for you to see. And if you look at the core, just look at the core of that pencil, you can see that it's already thicker than the 6B, because you know if it's going to be darker than the 6B, that it's also softer. So if I put a little bit of the 6B down here, right, just to give you the same kind of treatment, you can see that it is softer, it's crumbling more, it's darker right off the bat, right? Now, also, I need you to realize that this is something that cannot be erased very easily, or if at all. When you go to blend, it's going to be pretty intense, right? And it's going to be really messy and move around quite a bit. So this is one of the last things you're going to do to your paper if you choose to use it or if you need it. If I bring over my reference image, I would use the Ebony Pencil for maybe her eyes, a little bit of her eyebrows, and then definitely her hair. I would use the 6B for down in here, okay? Can this be erased? Not really. So really keep in mind that this is going to stain the paper. Even if you put it over here and it smudges somewhere else, it's going to stain that paper. It's not going to be able to be erased very easily, but it can blend really well and it goes really, really, really dark. I also want to remind you that it is shiny. Can you see the shine a little bit there? Super duper shiny because it's almost like purely graphite. And again, this is called the Ebony Pencil Jet Black Extra Smooth. please hold off on using this until the very last couple hours that you work on your picture because it is so messy. And last but not least, we have everyone's favorite, the Kneaded Eraser. This is what they look like when they come in the package, and here is what it looks like after you've been using it for a little while. Now, a kneaded eraser is a soft, flexible eraser, and it's used for pulling up graphite off the surface of the paper for a softer, more subtle approach to value. Now, in your kit, it looks something like that. I just cut them in half and gave everybody just a half of it. Go ahead and unwrap it. And the first thing you're going to want to do is to knead it, right? And to get it sort of working, warmed up. Now you can pull it really hard and it will break off in your hands. Sometimes little bits will fall off. Make sure you grab those back up, because if they get caught in the fabric of your shirt or your clothes or your bed, it's going to ruin your bed. It's like gum, right? But you can also stretch it really nice and soft. That's going to make more of those little bits to it. Play around, enjoy it. Everybody loves it. I love the smell of it. It reminds me of art class. But what's really cool about this is how it interacts with the graphite itself. So I have some just 4B pencil on this paper. And to remind you, if I use my everyday eraser and I try and pull that up, it's going to have a really sharp edge, right? What if I didn't mean to make this value so dark? What if I wanted it like one shade lighter? I can use my kneaded eraser for that. Instead of creating that sharp line, I can take my eraser and I can smush it into the right kind of shape for me. And then I can sort of push it down where I need to and then lift up, and it's gonna like take up some of that value. Now, do you see what happened though? Where'd the graphite go? Didn't just disappear. It's on the eraser itself. It's kind of like a magnet. So to clean it, or they say to clean, you're going to sort of stretch it and you're going to work that graphite into the eraser itself to get a cleaner area available on your surface so you can take another layer of graphite off. And again, it's pulling that up. So I would clean it by manipulating, by pulling that graphite through the kneaded eraser itself. Now you might be thinking, doesn't that make this dirty, quote unquote dirty? Yes. Eventually this kneaded eraser is going to turn into the color of graphite, right? And then it won't really take anything up. Right now, this is a brand new one, so I'm able to take up quite a bit at a time. It's a brand new eraser. I knead it, and it eventually will get darker. Another cool feature is that I can manipulate this eraser into the right shape that I need. So maybe I have to like get a little tiny piece like right in there. Right, I can do that. I can make it into like the right kinds of shapes, so I can like pull it across and create some subtle differences, right? That I simply can't do with this kind of eraser. This is everyone's favorite thing, and sometimes when I'm stressed out about my drawing, I'll just sit there and like pull this apart. It's kind of like a fidget spinner type of kind of vibe. Enjoy it. Just don't let it like sit on your bed, right? Because it will get stuck to your blankets and things like that. Okay, so that was our kneaded eraser. We also talked about our ebony pencil today and our tortillion. I hope you enjoyed that conversation. You're going to use these tools when you have some graphite down on the paper to sort of take it to that next level, to develop those textures, edges, and gradients.